In terms of those record first quarter financial results, a lot of catastrophic and really difficult weather that impacted the railroad last quarter, like many other companies we've seen before. But you said here in the results that the Unified Plan 2020, which is that longer-term strategy, the implementation of precision scheduled railroading, helped create a more resilient and robust network, allowing you to quickly return to normal operations. How? How did that happen?
Yeah, and thank you for having me this morning. The way the Unified Plan 2020 helped us recover quickly is it essentially removed work from the network. We're touching cars fewer times, and that gave us more capacity in our terminals to handle a surge. And we did one other thing that I'm very, very proud of the team for thinking of, and that is the hardest part of the network is our manifest part of the network, where we're switching cars and terminals and building trains, versus our bulk products, which tend to be unit trains from origin to destination. And what we did was we focused on running the manifest part of the network completely in its entirety to the extent we could. And as a result, that most difficult part of the network was maintained through the outage. And the outage was epic for us. We had our east-west main line severed for almost 2 weeks, 13 days. And as far as any of us can tell, that hasn't happened, at least as far back as we can see, let's say 50 years ago. It was an epic, epic weather issue.
Wow, and certainly, added to a lot of noise in terms of data and some of the economic metrics we keep an eye on in the first quarter. Given the fact that Union Pacific touches just about every type of good in some form or fashion to some extent that's moving around the U.S., what is your take more broadly on the state of the U.S. economy right now?
The U.S. economy actually feels pretty good to us. If you looked at the first quarter, so we were down 2% in volume, but the weather impact alone was a handful of percentage points. And if I think about what the quarter could have been, the weather impacted directly our energy business, it impacted our grain business, it impacted several other of our commodities, ethanol, certainly the carload business to a degree. As we look forward in the economy, the industrial economy continues to feel pretty good. The Gulf Coast investment continues to come online. We see strength in steel, we see strength in plastics, industrial, the construction product markets. Automotive industry looks like sales are expected to be something like 16.8 million units for the year. That feels okay. Our intermodal product, both international and domestic, shows some promise. There's a little bit of a headwind in domestic intermodal in that trucks are a little looser, but overall the economy, people consuming things, that feels pretty good. I guess the one question mark we have is on international trade. And on that topic, we need Congress to ratify USMCA, and we need to close the deal with China. Once those two things are in hand, the economy will feel pretty darn good to us.
Yeah, Lance, that was my last question. You do have some macro bears who continue to point to carloads year on year, worries about paper and cardboard, worries about trucking, as you pointed to. How would you advise them to process some of those metrics?
Yeah, so I think the number one issue for us is our Unified Plan 2020 and the PSR implementation is creating a more reliable, consistent service product. There's demand out there that is not yet showing itself to us and won't until we demonstrate that consistent, reliable service. As we do that, I think there's lots of opportunity in the market for us, not just in truck conversion into our domestic intermodal product, but also in the carload world. And if I look at the broader economy, consumers still feel pretty good. The job market looks pretty good. They're continuing to consume. The industrial marketplace continues to look pretty good. And the one area that we've just got to keep an eye on and get right is the trade.